Well, Boker Tov, Yom Tov, Zarim Tovim, Laila Tov, maybe Shalama Alayakun or Chadutha, however you want to receive it. I'm glad that you guys that are here, thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. Um, I am going to be very transparent. I am having a rough one today. And I was this close from pulling the plug on this today. And I said, no, with family, I want the spirit. I choose to be here, even in my rough spots, because how can I expect transparency from someone else if I'm not willing to be that myself? So I'm here.
Well, I'm glad you decided to do it, but even if you didn't and you needed the time, that would have been okay too. And you know I love you, sis. I'm giving you a great big hug over the Matrix airwave.
I look forward to
Yeah.
the day
Okay.
when it doesn't have to be that way. You know, this crazy thing about feeling the separation, even though there's that connection. I'm going to turn my camera off, not because I'm crying. It's just my bandwidth is really crappy. So I'm just going to turn my camera off. I don't care if people see me cry. I do enough times that I have no shame in it. But, you know, this oneness unity that we feel, there's such a deep well. There's such a deep love that when we're separated, it's like this that goes on the inside of me where I feel with everyone. And at the same time, I feel this extreme sense of disconnection from everyone. And it's such a strange place to be, you know, whereas before it just seemed to be to deal with. But on some days, it feels overwhelming because it feels like my heart simultaneously is exploding with this incredible amount of love. And at the same time, I feel this intense amount of separation. I don't even know if that makes any sense, but that's the only way I can describe it. So I look forward to the day that doesn't have to be there, that sense of separation is gone there. But right now I'm having a rough time with it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I get that.
got some amazing stuff. So I'm gonna turn it around. I'm just sharing my heart, sharing, and
I love it.
I'm just really tired. I'm just really tired. Really tired.
Mm. Yeah. I love sis.
I love you. I love everybody that I see on here right now. It's overwhelming in a beautiful sense. It's hard when you recognize it. It's just hard when you recognize it and you feel it. And then, like I said, I'm just going through it today. It's just one of those days. All these energies that are coming in and my body's feeling it and the fatigue is setting in. And then I bounce. Wish my interconnect connection wasn't so crappy. I bounce back and forth, you know, having all this zeal and wanting to share, and then I flip and go, you know, I don't really give a shite anymore. I don't really feel like sharing anymore. Does it really matter? And then it's a seesaw back and forth, back and forth. I'm like, wow, when does the pendulum stop swinging?
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I feel you.
Well, and you know,
I feel you.
it's not a pity me thing, is because we're all going through it. We're just, you know, some of us have, you know, it might be a day where I'm having a down day and you're doing awesome and I reach out to you. I mean, I just got off the phone with our friend Joe and had a wonderful conversation with him. And so we're all in the throes of it right now. So it's not like any of us are really escaping it. And just I'm going to keep having to do this with my camera. I apologize for that. But just when you think that you are getting over something, or you've you think you've wrestled it for the last time. All of a sudden you go, oh, wait a minute. I guess not, because it just presented itself again. And then you're questioning like, wait a minute. I thought I solved this. I thought I went through it already. And then it just resurfaces again. So this, what I'm feeling right now, is just an amalgamation of stuff. It's not any one thing. It's just many things in that process of, and potentially mourning, because things are changing. And my ego's having to let go.
Oh, yeah.
My ego's having to let go. And I think that's what I'm probably experiencing the most, is the ego needing to let go, or is choosing to willingly let itself go. And the mourning process that happens in that. And so it's just, and it feels like it's more of a collective issue. It's not just a me issue, even though, because so without, and we're in the micro and the macro, I feel like it collectively that we're all going to be, if we're not going through it right now, we all will be going through it shortly. So that's my take on it anyway.
Yeah, and I was just talking with Dale Allen Hoffman earlier today on this, and I was talking to him about letting it go. I want to let these things go, and he was like, you can't. He said, you never will. He said, because in your preparation for trying to let it go is your holding on. And I was like, oh my God, like, he said, it's just going to happen one day, and I was like, oh man, like it made sense to me, and the way he put it, and the context of the conversation and everything. I was like, that's really good, but it still doesn't negate the fact that we have rough days, man, and I know you're going through it, and I wish I was there and could give you a great big hug. And
well, Ken's
I have my days, Lord knows,
good job of it. I do. Ken's assisting as much as he can, but it's just, we have all this. I really wish my internet was not being such a pain in my butt today. We're getting all these light energies that are coming in, and they really are great. I didn't know I even have Kleenex. So yes, I'm being like a little kid. It's either that, or it's going to be interfering with the rest of our slime.
Do it. Save that
laundry, man.
Save that snot.
I'm real like all of you, and I'm not going to hide that fact. I'm not going to try to pretend to be somebody that I'm not. I'm a messy crier, so whatever, it is what it is. But this photon light energy that is coming in is really stirring the pot, man. It's stirring the pot.
Before we get too started into this,
go ahead.
I don't know if maybe you can the chat's not showing up for me. Like, I see it's there, but all it shows is new comments will display here. So I don't know, maybe if you can click that little button and unshare the chat and then share the chat again or something. And if not, then it's no deal. I'm just not any of the people in the chat room. I don't know why it's doing that.
Did you see anything now? Because I just turned it off and then I turned it back on. One thing that you might want to do, and I know you guys are. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
What does it say? Sometimes, dependent upon how it ends up getting shared on Facebook, I noticed that if I don't have it on a public share, it automatically goes to private share. And if it's automatically dumps into private share, none of the comments will show. So I don't know if the link that you put on was under a private share, like to friends only, and if you needed to click into public so then it can be shared. I don't know, but that's what I had to do. I actually reached out to Restream to find out what was going on, because I literally couldn't see anything on Facebook. And I'm not seeing anything actually on Facebook right now. All I'm only seeing is YouTube comments. So thank you for being here. We are going to get into stuff. I know that we're already 12 to this thing, and all you've been doing is seeing me cry and sharing my moment with you, but we are going to get into some stuff here. So give it a moment while Brandon figures this out.
Yeah, I did do that.
Okay.
No, I'm good.
Right. I did. I had it on friends only. Nothing's showing up for me still on my end, but that it is with you. We're just gonna have to roll with it.
Yeah. that was something that I had to figure out. So again, I don't know why, unless nobody from Facebook has joined us. I don't know, but I'm happy for the people that I see here. So thank you guys for being here. We got Steve and Greg hanging out with us, and Drew and Jody, and I don't know. I think I saw other people too. But just happy to have you guys here today. So to pick up where we left off, and I'm sure because Brandon and I we'll finish. We're going to finish this verse today that we have been discussing. I'm going to turn my. It's like you're having issues with your internet too. Anyway, we're going to finish up the verse that we were looking on, and I don't know if I'll actually be able to do the whole overview of the verse today. We may finish up with that next week, but I'll do my best because I really want to continue moving on to some verses that you've had within your heart to dig into the really tough stuff, to the tough subjects that we need to express. We need to be able to bring it so that we can bring it to closure and not have it be something that is creating egregores, thought forms over us, So anyway, unless you had something else to share, I would love to pull up the scripture and pick up where we left off from last week. Okay.
No, let's get into it.
Let's do it. That's why people decided to show up today. Well, maybe, or maybe they just wanted to see our smiling faces. I don't know. I'm just happy you're here.
Maybe.
It helps me. Maybe. All right, let me do the screen share. I pulled it up on my side, but I didn't actually share the screen. That's kind of funny. Okay. How's that? Can you see it? I'm assuming you can see it.
Yes.
I can't hear you. Okay, thank you. So I think where we left off last week, we were talking about that this had to do with the soul self, the breath of life, and those who have the staff of authority that are bringing this new seed of life to you so that you can see the mirror. This was actually a very beautiful word that we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And the transition coming into the very next word here, this word, of course, I say that with most words in Aramaic because they speak volumes where so much is lost and you can't see it in the English translation at all because it's a word that just means teacher and it's able to teach and adept at teaching. So transference from the people that have the staff authority here are teaching from the soul level, their personal life experience where they found wealth and riches in and through their shadow work. This is where they've experienced a transparency, like I was sharing with you guys very beginning this time with us today. That through life experience, they've been given a staff of authority because they've gone through, I call it through the school of hard knocks. That Lamed was on the prefix, which is Mother's teaching. That's what Joe and I were talking about today, is how Mother's teaching is so gracious, but it's the school of hard knocks for those of us who tend to be a little on the stubborn side. But those who have that staff of authority through it, because they found the wealth and the riches of it, they have such a great capacity to love. And this is what allows them to be adept in their teaching. And that's what we're moving into. That's what this is talking about. They're adept. Now I'm not going to go into a lot, but I'm going to share with you that the root of this word is yalaf. And yalaf, you don't see the yod, it's not there. You have mem, nun, aleph that have been added. And this is important. The reason why it was written this way is because these teachers are being teachers of the means word. These are teachers of the word. And because they entered into chaos, entered into this matrix, because they went through the process, they were given the staff of authority to open their mouth to speak with authority, a new seed of life that is going to be presenting to you things of the unseen essence in order for it to become a reality and absolute. And as they do it, they are kind of in their method of it is we beseech thee, take this information and do something with it. take the words that are being
Mm.
spoken forth through actual life experience and make it your own, because these are speaking from the place of their heart. They are speaking from that which has been divinely experienced. And this isn't from book knowledge here. This is not book knowledge. Can you learn things from a book? Yes, you can.
Right.
But if it doesn't move into your heart to produce change, you won't have the authority to speak it. It'll be hollow words.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the teachers that they're heaping up for themselves. These are those that have the authority, because what did they do? They were able to link things together, connect. They were taught up the way they were to go. They yoked and tamed their ego, and they are bringing forth thousands into the reality of this new paradigm that we're shifting into. And it says, another hidden word here says that the Pana, they will appear, they will turn and face as an absolute in the teaching. And this is something else that's in here that you can't see. It's kind of a hidden word within the gematria. It's that which they are bringing are the things that are dark, which just means that they're obscured. They're not going to be the things that people normally see.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, through the gematria, that they bring, the things that they share, these new seeds are going to be very extraordinary, but also very difficult. And they're going to be wonderful and marvelous. They distinguish and make special, and it's a miracle, the things that they're bringing about. So there's a lot that is hidden within this word that we just do not see about the teachers that are coming on the scene, the people that are bringing this new information to us. And that leads us to the next word here. And I thought this one was pretty interesting. Unless you want to comment before I move on the next word, if there's any, I can't see, oh, you can't see chat room either. You can't see the chat room either, so that's not going to help. So.
I got it pulled up on my phone, so I'm monitoring it from my phone.
Renee Gade, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, if you do like it, please give it a thumbs up and share. I appreciate that. Go ahead,
that those that come that are bringing kind of, I guess, if I heard you right, the dark teachings, or that is which been obscured to us.
Yes.
Is father's teachings through, that's on the dark side. This is those that come now have already been kind of shepherded and went through the right hand path, so they're ready for those dark teachings. They're ready for that obscure teaching.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because what ends up happening, and just to reiterate, that's a really good question. When we go into those dark, hidden, obscure teachings without dealing with, got to turn the camera off, without dealing with our ego, without taming it and yoking it, we bypass a huge portion of the teaching that Mother is orienting ourselves with. And she's really orienting ourselves to get connected with our heart. So that when you enter into the obscure teaching, the hidden teachings, you're not using it for service to self. You're not using it for force, power over people. You're using it for power over your own ego self in order to serve other people through the power that is given to you. So, in other words, these teachers are coming with mature teachings. They're coming with mature teachings for the mature that can handle, because they have integrated enough light in them that they can see beauty of what is being brought forward in order to serve all of humanity with that information.
And that's the big difference that I see in what's going on. And I'm not here to label something right or wrong or whatever, but we see a lot of teachings in manipulation and how to manipulate. And I'm not even talking about other people, but like manipulate elements and manifestation and everything like that. But the whole purpose of these teachings are for you. It's for you. It's to tame you. It's to go in you. That's what it's for, to tame your egoic nature. It's never to impose on someone else. That's going into the left-hand path without going to the right hand first. And that's how I see it. all this, from what I'm gathering and of learning from this and in this passage, is it has nothing to do with what we read in the English language at all. And I know you're going to sum it up later this evening, but from what I'm seeing in this passage is these teachers are the ones that have come who have already done this within them, who are going to teach other people how to do this themselves.
Correct. Correct. And because they have so much light that they've already been compressing within them, it gives them the ability to go into the dark teachings and to see them clearly. It's like the path has already been made way, so they can see them. There's a level of protection, an element that is afforded when you get into these kind of teachings, that there are certain things that have to be taken in consideration before you can enter in. And the very first thing that has to be taken in consideration, and then I'll move on to the next word here, is that when you enter into these types of teachings, you are responsible. Meaning, you know that you are responsible. So those who go into the dark and the obscure teachings without going through the path of mother know what they are doing. They know that they are responsible for that which they do with that power, and that they will have to give an account for that. Again, if we can comprehend of this has been done intentionally, these people that have chosen it for our benefit, even though at the time it may not seem like it, but to be a catalyst for us to learn. But they know that they are going to be responsible for everything that they do with that force that they are putting. And so the difference again is those who enter in it through mother's portion as well. And that's why they don't abuse the power, because what the ultimate goal of father's teaching is not the power. Because if you're seeking the power, then you're entering in the left hand without finishing the right hand. Those who enter into it that have gone through completely mother's teachings, is that the ultimate goal is the revealing of you, of who you are. That's the whole purpose of it.
Yeah.
There is no other purpose. And then what happens as the fruit of that is you have power in your life. That's kind of a byproduct of it. So if you go into these teachings seeking the power, then you never finish mother's instruction. And that means that you will have some backlash. But if you've completed it and you've already dealt much with your ego, you are ready to go into the dark to find out who you really are.
That's beautiful.
And, it's scary because some people don't want to know who they are. Some people are afraid to see what they're going to find. But I can tell you this, the glory of who you really are is going found within the dark journey. And you will come face to face with the beauty of you. The real you, not the mask. The only portion of you that is scared is your ego. That's it. Your ego is the only thing that has the fear attached to it. You as who you are, as a beautiful being of light, fears nothing. Fears nothing. So now when we move into this next word.
That was really well put.
Thank you. This next word, and this is, I think, where the point of that, what you were trying to make of one of the reasons why you really wanted to look in this scripture was because the heavy judgment of this word in the itching of their ears. And I totally get it. This is one of the reasons why many of us have shied away from looking at anything outside of the English literal translation of the Bible because of this word, this specific word. And I have to tell you, I was kind of shocked when I saw it, simply because the root form of the word is for you. The root form is het, tet. It's like it's a bookend. It's two of the same thing that are side by side, and it's never used in this form. It is never, ever, ever, ever used in this form. So the lump of clay potential is active form whenever it's written in the New Testament within the Aramaic. That says volumes. So this word is a very active word. It's not passive at all. It's not just sitting there. It's always been used in a form of action. So when we go down to the root, the het tet or the het tov, you can see that it comes from all of this here, the itching, excitation, the action or state of exciting or being excited. Yes. Can it be prurience and longing? Yes. But it also means to be excited. What's wrong with being excited? I don't think there's anything wrong with being excited. In fact, these teachings, when these teachers come on scene and they're things, which is going on right now. I mean, these teachers are here. These teachers that are bringing this nation is giving the soul excitement. It's like, I have been waiting for this. I can't even tell you how many times, and I'm not saying that I'm a teacher. I'm not saying that I'm anyone. I am all of you. I just share what I see because it's a piece of my heart that I want my family. That's all I'm doing here. But I have had people comment and make comments like, I've been waiting for these teachings my whole life. Well, what is that? That's a state of being excited, because soul knows that there is something that is lacking, and finally this is coming out so that we can have this excitement again for being alive or knowing the purpose of why we're here. I think it's interesting that because this is a language of duality, we can see two sides of it. We can see the itching and prurient side of it. And when we look at that, you know, it's from the 16th century, it's having a mental itching or a longing. But when you go and take a look at the etymology of that to see what's going on in here, so we have itching desire for something. Again, what is wrong with that? What is wrong with that? That was from the 1630s, but see how it changed in the 1650s? Lasciviousness inclined towards lewd thoughts. But the original form was having an itching desire for something, and it changed. And then in 1746, it began to be to long for, to be wanton. To be wanton. To be wanton means that you have too much of something, and so you're bent to more of it. Meaning, you know, they usually use that in a very sexual oriented sense, like being hypersexualized, that you just need to have sex all the time. That's generally the inference of being wanton. And they'll relate that to like whorish activities. Right. But that wasn't what the original intent of that word was. So
it's crazy how things can change like that.
Exactly. So the Proto-Indo-European root, really from part of this word, prius, means to freeze and to burn. To freeze and to burn, which is really the same thing. And it, you know, into the wet itch and all of this stuff about damage to the skin, to the extreme of the cold surface, but also the hot, the paradoxical sensation of burning contacts an extreme cold surface. So there's a paradox that is within this word itself that we're looking at. In fact, that's what Joe and I were talking about earlier today, about the paradox of many things that we see. And I instantly went to, I would rather you be cold or hot. Rather have you have longing and excitation than being lukewarm.
Wow.
I want you to be excited. I didn't have you come here just to be living a ho-hum life. So what does this mean in its written form? Just really quickly. This excitement is supposed to be has something that's happening on the end of you. And it's meant to help build you. It's meant to help build you. Mother's saying, get excited about this, because what this is going to do, it's going to help you connect to your heart. You're going to have two sets of teachings that you're going to go through. You're going to have the first set of Mother's teaching. She is going to take you from the place of being separated from your heart so you can connect to it, where then you're going to match and have the finished completion of the signature of that first portion of teaching. Then in maturation, because you became the bride, you dealt with the set apart, now you're going to go into the intimate teachings where you're going to find life. That's the second het, because the first portion is being separated. The second is finding life in it. And you're going to come to the end of that, enter into union. You're going to enter into union within yourself. It's going to be revealed. The unseen essence of who you really are is going to be revealed as manifest within your life. So get excited for it. That's what these teachings are coming about, and the shepherds that have the staff, because they've experienced it. They've seen the excitement for it. That's why they spill champagne all over the place when they talk. Kind of pointing the finger back at me. This is where it's coming from. This is where it's coming from, because I've experienced it and I get to share it with others. I can't help but be excited about it. I'm like, yeah, are you getting what I'm saying? You know, start jumping up and down. This is some fun stuff. It's good. And then we get to, yep, here's the last one. I'll land the plane on this, and then I will. And funny comments, or if you're just laughing with me, my brother.
I'm laughing with you.
Okay, I'm going to come out. Just seeing if there was any questions. Joe, you hear me knocking? Well, not yet, but I know I'm sure it's sometime soon. Anyway, so that portion of it is, I really want to just land that before I get into the next word, because the last word is very good to land the plane on. But this inside job that we're doing, I cannot stress it enough. And I've shared with people before, any good teacher that is coming out with these teachings now, if they're not pointing you to go within, if they're not pointing to you, then I would really, really second guess why you're sitting under their tutelage. Because we have shifted over and out of that paradigm of the external. It's all about the internal work. And that was a message that I could see within the writings of what was written about his message, is he was continually pointing us to go within. So if a teacher is not doing that, you might think about finding somebody else that you want to sit under their tutelage, or just get rid of the teacher altogether and just go sit within, because that's really going to be your greatest teacher, your heart, your own soul, straight from source, through spirit.
Exactly.
Right here. Although there are that can help you. What I hope that I've been able to do for some that have been able to choose to partner in time, we share. The last word here. So hold on just a second. I can't just jump in. Well, maybe allow me to jump back in. Maybe it will. You guys still seeing this?
Yes.
Is that a
screen?
Okay.
And yes, it is on
I know we have some delay. Okay. Mm-hmm. I know we have a delay too, so it sounds long, pregnant pause, yeah. And I'm like, hello, is anybody here? Anyway, this last word, and why I wanted, this is a great place to land the plane, is because teachers that are coming forth to bring this information, you can see there's some of this definition of what this word Shema is. Shema is a really big word. Anybody that's been in the Hebrew roots movement, anything like that, know this word extremely well, although I think it has been from its original essence. What we have done is we've taken it to be the obedience aspect. And so obedience is a strong word that many of us have felt beat up by. But when you can see it from the essence of what is being presented, not from the lording over, from egregors that we're subject ourselves to, but going within and listening to our heart, what are we doing? It's saying, hear, obey your heart, listen and understand to the inside of what is being revealed to you. because there's a report that'll be coming to you from your heart. Your heart will tell you much if you will just stop and listen. And it's meant to advise you, to instruct you, to cause you to hear. And there's announcements that are being made. Now, this is a critical piece for me when I see this, because we have been conditioned to listen to our head instead of our heart first. And when we look at the root of the word, here's the root, ma. Right in the middle of that is mem. Mem can be two things, because it's made of a mem and a mem sophit. You know, every single letter, every symbol of Hebrew and Aramaic is made up of other symbols. I know I've said this before, but if you're new, you probably haven't heard this before. English alphabet, an A is an A is a B, a C is a C. There's nothing that makes up those letters. But in Hebrew and Aramaic, the mem, this one that I've highlighted, it's made of 2 letters. The sheen right next to it is made of 3 letters, a shin yod nun. So there's a vibrational frequency within every single letter that is containing massive information that is being brought into you via your eyes and all the way down into your heart, into the subatomic level of the creation of your own being. So this mem, there's 2 waters here. It's either the waters of chaos or the waters of shalom. The waters of chaos, I'm going to connect this the other day with what Steve and I were talking about negentropy and entropy. Chaos is when you aren't creating your own energy. Waters of shalom is when you are creating your own energy, because you're now organized. You everything is, in other words, heart brain coherence. You're creating your own energy. So this is saying, listen to the waters, the living waters that are within you, because that is going to give you the counsel. So when we pay attention to that, what are we doing with this information? What are we doing with it? Well, it's saying, then this is what you don't see. These letters here, this and these letters, these last 4, never were brought into consideration in the interpretation. Not at all. Only these 3.
Wow.
So what is it saying to us? Enter into the door of where? To the inside of you, to find out the area that you've been disconnected in. Remember, our whole experience in coming here was to be disconnected from the infinite creator so that we could experience what it's like to be separated as a separate self. So the door is saying, look, you need to go in. There's something that you've been disconnected. You need to go find it. You need to search it out. You need to deliver yourself from that. Until you do, you are going to be experiencing the waters of chaos. But if you allow the fire, sheen is that spirit fire through the divine essence that is coming in, that is burning away things that are causing you to have the chaos, so that you can have living waters within, and it'll give you the ability to see. Ein is to see, to know your purpose, to have a greater expression or an expanse of consciousness, so that you can see the whole landscape, not just a myopic view, but the grand view of what's going on. And this is, and I'm highlighting this, I'm just giving you the interpretation here, but not explaining the letters too much. Within time, this is what's going to happen in time, because it's meant to adorn you. It's meant to bedeck you. It's meant to bring perpetuity to you. But as long as you are dangling and separated, you are never going to see how you are an eternal being. But you will find that out eventually in time. If you go into the hidden teachings. If you go into work and connect to Father, while you take that which you are seeing, hearing, feeling, listening, and understand what the purpose is. Because it has to do with your blood. It has to do with your blood. What does that mean? It has to do with your DNA. This is all about changing us. These teachings are meant to change us from the inside out, quite literally, physically, as well as spiritually. So what I'm going to do now, unless there's any questions, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through the full interpretation of this, and then we can land the plane and talk about whatever we want to talk about. So give me a second here and I will start. I just go to the top. Based on what I'm seeing from what we've shared, it's not going to be an exhaustive, but I'm going to take everything that I've shared so that you can hear the conclusion of the matter of what is being shared within this verse. First of all, let's talk about the English translation. They said in King James, "For the times will come when they will not endure, but after their own lusts shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears." This is what this verse is saying to us through Aramaic. Through the relation of the spirit breath, a seed will be given to you, a spiritual seed that will give you a strong base to stand upon. It is meant to give you the ability to exist, to be connected to your heart, to be and to become, as you have been a sojourner. You have been one that has been a guest here, but a powerful vision was placed within you that you were going to gather together to assemble yourself, to raise you up from your poor and destitute place, to become a leader, to become a sovereign, so that you could deal with the fear that has plagued you. There is going to be a time, a season, and an opportunity where you are going to be given something that is going to nourish you. It is going to be like a sword and a plow, where it's going to cut off the things that no longer serve you, but also plow up the ground so that you can build on the inside through this powerful seed that was given to you, that will bring perpetuity, heirship, so that you will begin to see the one thing, the totality of all, the all of the all. We beseech thee that you would receive this. Go buy oil. This instruction that is different than that which you've been taught before. It is going to be where you have been disconnected, the areas that have kept you weak, lean, and feeble, but you must take it and deliver yourself from that position. Through that, a door will be presented that you must walk through, an instruction, someone who has done it, that will give you the power necessary in the direction, showing you how to connect to your heart, the instruction that is necessary coming from your heart. They are going to appear before you. They will speak these words and they will say to you, we beseech thee, take this seed and find the all of everything, the essence of the unseen, which you are. This will sting you in some cases, prick and goad you, but it's meant for you to be able to bring things together, to connect, putting things together, things that you have learned, things that you have studied, and compiling them so that you can comprehend the words that they are saying. This is meant to make you whole, healthy, sound, and strong. This is taking the water and turning it into wine, where you learn to become fermented and taking that which has an expiration date and making it be something that can last. This is something that will power your heart. It is going to pierce you. It might even break you. But it is a musical sound that is being played that is going to begin to open you up from the inside out. It is going to take the waters of chaos and bring a measure of the waters of shalom, entering in to the essence of the unseen, the all of the all. It will be taking you out of your weak, sick, and afflicted place so that you can find life. And when you do, you will begin to beseech others to go within through that instruction, take the power that so you too could enter in. Those who have done this will be the staff of authority. They will be the rod of, because they have done it themselves. They studied, they put together, they brought together, they connected, they trained themselves up in this knowledge, and they were also pricked, stinged, goaded, but they linked it all together. They brought it together. They became family, and they come to present this to you. Listen to what they have to say. Listen to the seed That which they are given to you is a spiritual path, something that is meant to give you a very strong base to stand upon, something that will produce an heirship, bring you into royalty, a strong foundation that has been given so that you can covenant journey within, which means that your heart is exempt from judgment because you were truly given the eyes to see that which was needed. You were able to see the purpose of why you were here, the design and the purpose in this material world, why you were brought here. Because this truly is the good news that they're announcing to you, that they're bringing to you. They ask you to run to it, but also pay attention, to eye it, to look at it. But ultimately, it's going to be to sing, shout, and testify because of the greatness of the completion of the journey within. But there's always things on the contrary, depending on whether or not you receive the instruction from your heart. But this is meant to bring you to the place of being a strong leader, teaching shepherd yourself, who stands in the middle of the oneness of mother and father, that have learned the way of the strong oak tree, the ones who are the pilasters, the priests, the ones that are powerful. This is according to those who would learn and ask these questions of how is this supposed to be done? Where is this supposed to be done? It is all meant to be a journey on the inside, so that through this process, this highly spiritual process, you will choose to empty your cup. You will listen to the teachings that have empowered your heart. You will empty the cup and you will allow yourself to be tamed and yoked by them, because eventually it will take you into the place of nothingness where everything is, the place where Enoch was and then he was not. There is a very strong desire for this. People have been searching because in their poor and destitute place, they have been gathering here and gathering there, assembling themselves from visions that they knew that would lead them to the completion of the journey where they would find all the wealth and riches. But they were going to have to dare to venture into the dark place of the unknown, to see and have it revealed to them things that they needed to connect to, that were really part of their fallen flesh, but yet was part of them. In this process, they are going to grow. It's going to enlarge them and bring praise to them, magnify who they are because of the spiritual journey, because of the seed that they took from mother. It ended up surrounding them and protecting them, hedging them in and supporting them, where they were given the authority of the wedding ring as well as the signet ring, because they lifted themselves up. They connected to Father in the teachings of Father, because mother had already prepared them, and they were able to see the process of the mirror in which they were able to lift themselves out of. They may have strayed and wandered for a while. They may have erred in their ways, but they were able to see that and connect to it and raise themselves out. These are those who are given the staff of authority. They process this for them through their soul. They experience this as something that is of their own life. They found the wealth and riches. They did their shadow work. They were trained and they were taught, and so therefore they teach. And their words will also sting and goad you, just as like they were stung and goaded along. These are the adept at teachings. They are bringing the word to you in a sense where this will become waters at first chaotic until it brings shalom, a level of maturation through the teachings to present to you the staff of authority. They will face and they will appear you. They will speak of the seed of life, and they will always say, we beseech thee, enter into this oneness unity, enter into the essence of the all of the unseen, and become absolute in its wealth and riches of what it's being shared. Be excited about this, because this is your inward journey. The place that you thought you were once separated, you're going to connect to your heart, where you're going to complete that journey in totality, finding life abundantly, where you are no longer in the place of judgment. You are exempt from it because you completed it.
You became one with the all, the essence of the unseen, now as absolute, as one who is family. And it is because of this that the blood is going to be changed. We are one blood after all. We all have to enter into the door of chaos, where we begin to hear and listen and understand to that which is being taught to us in the measure of time, so that we become as Shem, as the named, those possessing honor, authority, and character that are marked with a distinction in their originality, but they are still part of the named. They did this in time. They could see the process, the purpose of their being. They completed and got the mark, the signature frequency of the Father, the fingerprint of completion, as they are being revealed as those who found the wealth and riches. They dared to venture into the dark teachings where they found themselves, and it was revealed to them who they were while in their flesh. In the journey of time, as the bedecked, as the adorned, knowing the purpose of why they were here. Amen, amen, shalom, shalom on that. Oh, me. Brandon said his internet went out. Okay, that's funny. I was like, there was that awkward silence again, and I was trying to figure out what happened. But now I know. So Brandon's internet went out. So what I just did, I don't know, but I just went through the entire verse through my interpretation of everything that we have dug out for the past several weeks, so that you could see that that verse truly is nothing with the way it was penned to be. Please be excited about these teachings that are coming forward. Please set aside, we beseech thee, set aside the fear that you may have about venturing out of waters, about venturing out of the English literal interpretation of the Bible. There are much deeper waters for us to swim in that are showing us the trueness of who we are. And this verse shows the beauty of these teachings that are coming forward, the teachers that have gone through this process themselves. And so they come forward because they're excited to share, and they want to bring it to their family because they know that family is gathering. So I really appreciate you guys being here. I'm not gonna go any longer. Yes, go buy oil. This is connected to the wise and foolish virgins. Going and buying oil is finding that which you need to build yourself. It's going to be the things that feed and nourish you. And it also means the season and opportunity is here for you to do that. Right here, right now. So whatever the Spirit is saying that you need to feed upon, that which is going to nourish your soul, your very own nefesh, go and do those things. And ultimately, it's your inward journey that should lead us all into the essence of the unseen, of the greatness of the Oreta, the celestial law of light, love, our place of origin, our place of return, the place that we are who we really are. And while we are here on our flesh, notice that the last word that I shared with you had that noon on it. It doesn't say that we're doing this to escape. It's saying that we complete the journey while we're here so that we can be an expression of the Oreta to the rest of the world. Our work isn't done until we can all comprehend what Oreta is, the light, the love, and becoming it. We still have a lot to work to do. This is nothing about escaping. This is about everything about us becoming, so that we can become one family, one soul, one love, one light. And that's why I wanted to come on and share this with you today, and why I didn't want to. As much as I had a rough start in the beginning, I wanted to finish well, and I wanted to share with you this heart, because Brandon and I have much more that we want to share, many more additional scriptures that we want to take apart. I probably won't take the time to break them down like I did this very first one, because it's extremely consuming. But I don't have a problem in bringing the interpretation to you, where we can just hit on a few keywords, ones that we really need to break apart. And then I will share with you my heart in the interpretation that my soul, my spirit sees right now. Because again, we are always changing and it's a living word. So my expression is going to be different tomorrow than it was today. And I expect it to be, and I expect it to be that same way for you as well. So again, I'm just sharing from the place where I have found myself right now. I love you guys so much. I truly mean that with all that I am and the essence of my being. Shalom, shalom, chadutha, and namaste. Until next time.